Close your eyes for a moment, not to escape the world, but to create it. See yourself as you desire to be, abundant, powerful, financially free. Millions are not distant. They are not tied to years of labor, nor are they reserved for the lucky few. They are closer than breath, nearer than hands and feet. They begin within, not because of some outward sign, not because of the stock market or a business deal. Your time has come because you have decided to assume that it has. Everything changes the moment you accept this truth. The world you see is simply a mirror reflecting your persistent assumptions. If you wake each day feeling poor, overlooked, and anxious, the world will say, yes, that is so. But if you rise from your bed, stretch your arms and declare, I am wealthy and money flows to me easily, the world will eventually echo back, yes, that is so. Do not look for proof before you believe. That is not how this law works. Believe first without seeing, and soon the world will rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. Imagine walking into your home no longer worried about bills. Picture logging into your bank account and seeing not hundreds, not thousands, but millions. Let it thrill you. Let it be real to you now. You need not tell anyone. You need not convince anyone. This is not their creation. It is yours. When doubts arise, and they will, do not fight them. Simply return to the scene that confirms your wealth. Revisit it until it feels like a memory instead of a fantasy. Feel it real, not someday, now. The universe responds not to your wishes, but to your state. And your state is shaped by what you accept as true. I am a magnet for abundance. I live in wealth. I have more than enough, and I always will. Do not ask how it will happen. That is not your concern. The how belongs to the divine machinery behind the scenes. Your only task is to live in the end and to persist. They are not in the future. They are in a version of you who already has them. So be that version, speak like them, dress like them, decide like them, not recklessly, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their harvest is guaranteed. Let the world call you delusional. You are not here to prove them right. You are here to manifest what they cannot yet see. And when it arrives, and it will, remember this moment. The moment you chose to believe before the evidence. The moment you chose to become before becoming. Before the millions arrive in your bank account, they must be seen clearly in the vault of your imagination. Money is not the beginning, it is the result. All wealth, all abundance, all prosperity that you will ever touch begins as an image formed in the quiet chamber of the mind. You do not become rich by chance. You become rich by conception. The conception takes place long before the cash arrives. It is born in thought, nurtured in feeling, and delivered through faith. If you look to your outer world to confirm your financial worth, you will remain stuck in the loop of lack. But if you dare to see something more, if you close your eyes and allow yourself to imagine not what is, but what can be, you begin the only true journey toward wealth. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the most powerful creative force you possess. It is the workshop of God in you. When you imagine something with feeling and persistence, you are not merely pretending, you are forming a mold. And the universe, in perfect obedience, pours itself into that mold. Every mansion, every business empire, every luxury car, every global brand, all of it began as a vision, a spark, a dream someone dared to hold when nothing in their environment supported it. The world you see today was once invisible, cradled in the unseen realm of thought. You must train yourself to live from imagination, not memory. Memory replays the past. Imagination preplays the future. And what you repeatedly play in your inner world will begin to echo in your outer life. Don't wait for evidence. Don't wait for a raise, an investor, a lucky break. Begin within. Picture it. Your hands running across the leather of your dream car. Feel the warmth of the sun as it hits the dashboard. See the number on your bank statement. Hear the confirmation email for the wire transfer. Experience it now, not as a distant hope, but as a present truth. Most people are waiting to believe. They say, I'll feel rich when I see the money. But the law of creation says, you'll see the money because you feel rich. The feeling always precedes the form. So walk with your head high. Eat at your table as though it were already overflowing. Sleep not with worry, but with gratitude. Because something powerful happens when you imagine wealth without needing proof. You command it. Imagination is the first currency, the only one that cannot be stolen, taxed, or diminished by inflation. And those who master it will never go without. Hold your vision with love and certainty. Trust what you see inside more than what you see outside. For when the image is clear, the path will appear. And soon what was once just an invisible picture in the mind will become your physical, financial, and unshakable reality. The secret to wealth is not hoping for it, but emotionally experiencing its reality before it manifests. You cannot receive what you do not first feel. That is the sacred law. You must become the thing desired in consciousness before it can be received in substance. Wealth is not something that shows up and then gives you permission to feel abundant. You must feel abundant first, without evidence, without proof, without needing a single dollar in your hand. When you feel rich in the absence of money, you are declaring to the universe, I know who I am. I am already that which I seek. And the universe, being a faithful servant, must align itself to reflect your dominant inner state. Most people ask, when will I become rich? But that question is rooted in lack. It assumes you are not rich already. And as long as you hold the belief that you are separated from the thing you desire, you are silently pushing it away. The law responds not to your words, but to your emotional frequency. You can say affirmations all day, but if deep down you still feel poor, worried, and unworthy, you will only recycle more experiences that match those emotions. That is why you must train yourself to feel the end result now. What does it feel like to know you can pay any bill without stress? What does it feel like to walk into a store and never glance at the price tags? What does it feel like to give generously, knowing you'll never run out? Close your eyes and feel those answers. Let your nervous system taste the reality before your senses can verify it. Act, speak, and move as though it were already true. Not to impress others, but to impress the truth upon your subconscious mind. This is not about pretending. It is not a game of make-believe. It is an inner alignment with your future self. You are not chasing the life you want. You are becoming the person who already lives it. When you live as though it's already yours, you shift timelines. You move from waiting to receiving, from hoping to knowing. You collapse the distance between who you are now and who you are becoming. This feeling is the seed, and every seed, when nurtured, must grow. So rise each morning and feel the wealth in your breath, in your peace, in your ability to choose joy. Carry yourself with quiet certainty. Don't explain it, don't defend it. Just be it. Walk the earth like someone who already has the keys. Because the moment you feel it real, the moment you make the invisible visible within, creation begins. And soon the world must catch up with the inner truth you refuse to let go of. You are not the architect of the process, only the possessor of the promise. Leave the how-to, the unseen hand. One of the greatest traps that delays manifestation is the obsession with how it will happen. The mind, conditioned by logic and past experiences, wants to map out every step, every detail, every possible path. It says, how will I get the money? How will the opportunity come? Who will open the door? But the how is not your responsibility. It is none of your concern. Your job is to define the end, the result, the fulfilled desire, and to dwell in it as though it were already accomplished. When you do this, you send a clear instruction to the deeper intelligence that governs all things. And that intelligence, what some call God, source, spirit, or law, will orchestrate events in ways you could never plan or predict. The human mind is limited. It knows only what it has seen before. But the divine power within you has access to every possible path, every connection, every sequence of events, most of which are invisible to your current awareness. So when you insist on figuring out the how, you are trying to build a mansion with a teaspoon. You are constraining a limitless process with your limited view. Have you not seen this before? Doors open where there were only walls. People show up at the perfect moment. An idea strikes your mind in the quiet hours, leading to a breakthrough you could have never planned. Trust is not passive. It is deeply powerful. It is choosing to feel secure when nothing around you suggests you should. It is saying, even though I cannot see the way, I know the end is certain. And when doubts arise, as they will, remind yourself gently, it's not my job to know how, it's my job to know what. And I know what I've chosen. That's how miracles happen. Not through effort alone, but through alignment. Not through hustle, but through harmony. So dream big. Picture the final scene of your success. Live in that scene. Visit it in your mind so often that it feels more real than your current circumstances. And every time your mind pulls you back to the details, gently return to the vision. Because you were never asked to pave the road, only to know the destination. Hold fast to the end and let the universe handle the in-between. No matter what the outer world reflects, hold fast to the inner vision. Reality must conform to the dominant inner state. The moment you assume a thing to be true, you give it life. The assumption is the seed, and persistence is the sunlight that draws it through the soil. But here's what most forget. Before it blossoms, it must first push through the dirt, the darkness, the doubt. They say, I visualized, I affirmed, I felt wealthy, but nothing changed. And so they abandon the assumption. They slip back into the old self, defeated by what they see, forgetting that what they see is only the echo of who they were, not who they are becoming. Reality always lags behind your inner state. It is a reflection, not a forecast. So when you make a new assumption, when you decide I am wealthy, or I am favored, or I am free, you must give that assumption time to take root. You do not have to repeat the assumption all day long, but you must refuse to trade it for doubt. When fear arises, return to the vision. When the world shows you contradiction, remember, the world is only reflecting your past state. Stay faithful to the new one. Imagine holding a picture in your mind of a life where you are free, financially, emotionally, spiritually. You see yourself walking with ease, giving without hesitation, receiving without guilt. And now imagine holding that picture with such steadiness that no circumstance can pry it from your hand. Even when the bills arrive, even when the bank balance looks low, even when no opportunity seems to be on the horizon, you say within yourself, this may be what I see, but it is not what I believe. What I believe is greater than what I see. Not because you fought the outer world, but because you remained unmoved by it. You chose the inner vision again and again until it became the outer world. This is not magic. It is law. The state you dwell in most often, the one you return to when you are alone, when no one is watching, that is the state that will rule your life. Not what you say you want, but what you inwardly accept as yours. For the world must conform not to your wishes, but to your unwavering assumption. And in time you will look around and see what once lived only in your imagination now standing before you in flesh and form. Time is only the canvas on which your desires are painted into visibility. Delay does not mean denial. When you set an intention, when you choose a vision, there is an inevitable pause between the conception of that desire and its outward manifestation. It is in this gap that many begin to lose hope, questioning, why is it taking so long? Am I doing something wrong? Maybe it's just not meant for me. But this is the mistake. The delay is not a sign that your dream is being denied. It is the necessary unfolding of the creative process. Imagine an artist standing before a blank canvas. They don't paint one stroke and immediately expect the entire masterpiece to appear. No, they lay one brushstroke at a time, trusting that the image will emerge in its fullness even when the first stroke seems incomplete or even chaotic. So too with your desires. The vision is not your responsibility to force into existence. It is your responsibility to hold the vision, to live from it, to feel it as though it is already done, and then allow the universe to use the time and space as the creative process it is. Time is not an obstacle. It is simply the space in which your faith grows stronger. The longer the delay, the more time you are given to expand your belief, to refine your vision, and to detach from the need for immediate gratification. You are not being denied, you are being shaped, refined, and prepared for the gift you have asked for. Do not confuse the gap with a gap in your power. There is no gap between you and what you desire. There is only time for the unseen to take form. The moment you planted the seed, the creative process was already in motion. Just because you cannot yet see the fruit does not mean it is not growing. In fact, the delay is part of the drama of creation. It is the tension between your inner vision and the outer reality that makes the fulfillment of your desire even sweeter. It is the contrast that builds the anticipation and strengthens your belief in what is yet to come. So, do not mourn the space between. Celebrate it. Every moment of delay is a step closer to your manifestation. Every moment of waiting is a moment of faith in motion. When you can embrace the space, knowing that what you desire is already unfolding, you move from impatience to peace. The universe works in ways you cannot comprehend. The time you experience as a delay may be the universe's way of aligning all the right people, opportunities, and events to bring you exactly what you need. It is not about waiting in vain. It is about waiting with grace, understanding that everything is happening as it should, according to a divine timetable that has no need to be rushed. So whenever doubt creeps in, whenever the thought arises that perhaps your dream is slipping away, remember, the delay is part of the plan. It is the final layer of creation, preparing you for the fullness of the manifestation. Speak, walk, and act from the place of already having it. You are not becoming, you are. The greatest mistake many make on the journey to wealth is believing that they will become wealthy someday, once the external circumstances fall into place. But the truth is, wealth is not a distant future event. It is a present state of being. The moment you step into the consciousness of already having what you desire, you align yourself with the reality that must come. You are not waiting for wealth to find you. You are not waiting for the right opportunity, the right connection, or the right timing. You are already wealthy. Your job is to step into that truth and allow the external world to catch up. Think of the millionaire who is already accustomed to their success. They do not question their worth. They do not worry about their next step. They act with confidence, knowing that abundance flows to them effortlessly. They don't need to act rich. They already are. And because they live from that certainty, they draw more wealth to themselves. To think like a millionaire is not about mimicking their habits or their possessions. It is about embodying the mindset that makes them who they are. A millionaire thinks in terms of abundance, possibility, and opportunity. They do not dwell on lack or fear. They do not entertain thoughts of scarcity. They think in terms of plenty, and because of that, they continue to attract more into their lives. But how do you begin to think like a millionaire? It starts with a decision. A decision to already be who you are becoming, a decision to see yourself as the successful, confident, abundant person that you are right now in this very moment. The truth is, you are not waiting for your external circumstances to tell you who you are. You are telling the world who you are through your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, and your energy. You are already the millionaire. And now it's time to live from that truth. This is where most people get stuck. They wait for the external world to change before they feel the way they want to feel. They wait for the paycheck, the deal, the opportunity to show up. And then they think, now I'm rich, now I'm worthy. But this is backwards. The key to wealth is to reverse the process. You must act, think, and speak as if you already are who you desire to be. You already have the mind of a millionaire. Now all you have to do is trust it. Walk through your day with the quiet confidence that you already have everything you need. Speak with the certainty that abundance is your natural state. Make choices with the knowing that the universe supports you in every move. The moment you start living from the place of already having it, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. It is the law, it cannot be denied. As we come to the end of this journey, remember this: you are not waiting for wealth, success, or fulfillment to come to you. You are already equipped with everything you need. The power to create, to manifest, to live abundantly is already within you. By embracing your imagination, living from the place of already having it, persisting in your assumptions, detaching from the how, and understanding that the delay is not denial, you are aligning yourself with the laws of creation. And as you do so, the outer world must reflect what you have already claimed as your truth. So, speak, walk, and act as the person you have decided to be. Trust in your inner vision. Hold on to it with unwavering faith, and remember that what is unseen today will soon become visible.